Hi everyone, it's a Thursday night at 8:15. It's time for GG Gaming Gone Mad. We're going to be having a look at the weekend sport from a betting angle, of course. Well, joining me down from Cape Town, I believe he's been up in Johannesburg all week. It's Gary Lentin. Gary, good to have you back on the show.
Brent, hello, my mate. Always good to be out. I specifically got back in time so I could do the show and everything. I hate missing it. I had quite an interesting experience today. I flew on an aeroplane. It had done less than 50,000 miles. So the delivery was about 30,000 miles apparently, or 50,000 hours. 50 hours when we qualified it. It done less than 50 hours in the sky when we got onto it today. You know what I mean? A brand new SAA plane. Let's just hope that they, able to hold on to it, It is a hell of a nice plane, but I've never been on a plane that brand new. It was like walking into a car, actually. It had the smell of a brand new car. It was fantastic, you know what I'm saying? But I am back. I'm back in my apartment and ready to go tonight. Unfortunately, I think we have a lull this week, Brent. But I think that this is the last lull that there is for a long, long time, right? Because I think that next week we got Super Rugby starting. Next week we got the Met. Next week we've got the Six Nations. I don't think there's anything that's not happening next week. The one-day cricket will be happening. It's all you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. It would have been nice, for example, if the Six Nations had started today or this weekend, But as you say, everything's going to hit us all at once next weekend. But looking very forward to it, getting quite excited for the Super Rugby as well. I haven't really got any long-term bets down, but we can touch on some of those markets as well. Just to welcome all the guys who join us in the live chat as well. I see there's a few there. I'll just double-check that the comments are working. We'll have our usual competitions. But just a shout-out to Peter last week, Gary. We ran a few competitions, and if this guy didn't make money betting that, I don't know. He got within 1 minute of the Liverpool first goal. He got within 1 point of the total points on the Sunday. And he also, we ran a competition in the Good for the Game newsletter, and there were 5 guys actually got the answer right. It was McGregor by a technical decision. And there were 5 guys, and he was one of those 5 as well. So he was absolutely on fire. I must tell you, the cricket runs, I actually got the closest in terms of the innings lead for England, and I was 120 runs out. How about that?
Wow. I mean, they really had it in the first innings and took the game away from South Africa. I was totally wrong about it. I've got the series on its head. That's the truth. Before they came here, I said England should be 1-7 to win the series.
Yes.
I ended up backing England in the first test. Then I got the needle. I think, these oaks can't open this and that. The second test, I switched for South Africa. The third test, I get left with South Africa. So for everything, I just like these oaks to duck. I've had enough of them. I didn't like them before they got here. Now they're really giving me the stone zig, But they have really dominated the series since that first test. You know what I'm saying, Brent? And now you have to start believing that the illness that they had leading into that first test match did affect them. Because from what we've seen, they're a far superior side to our bunch of frogs, right?
No, certainly. I've just put your odds scrolling at the bottom there, Gary. South Africa 2-1, the draw 28-10, and England 17-20.
Where did you make up this betting for? You're making me look bad.
No, hold on, maybe it was 3-1. Sorry, I think I must have made a typo there. 3-1. Sorry, Gary.
But if anyone wants to back South Africa now because of Brent's mistake, automatically you can have 4-1 during the show. Just send Brent a message how much you want of it, right?
Just send me a message and you can have 4-1 South Africa. Let me, in fact, as we're speaking, I'm going to go on there and edit that one. So we'll make it 3. I thought that sounded a little bit 3-1 South Africa. And Gary, I imagine you'd be happy to lay South Africa because I can tell you, I think 17-20 England is a cracking price. I see the draw is shortened a bit, which is interesting. I can only assume it's because there's been a bit of weather around Joburg.
There was,
I can't.
Sorry, carry on, Brent.
I don't know. I was going to say I can't see unless it rains all weekend. I really can't see it.
Look, I was there. It looked like a lot of rain, and it was muggy on Tuesday. But that certainly cleared up and everything. And there is rain forecast, a lot of it, and that's why it's shortened. If there's no weather, they don't need 5 days. Not on a wondrous track, Brent. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yes.
They lose a full day and some for this not to be a result. And in my opinion, I can only see one result, and that's England. Woods really quick. I don't know if Archer's coming back. I assume that he will. Who we got? I mean, I just don't understand something with this demerit situation with cricket. It really upsets me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying defending Rabada. We haven't discussed this yet. I'm not defending Rabada, right? But he got a big wicket on a flattish track. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? And then he celebrated. Maybe he's a little bit over exuberant. Whatever. That's not the point, right? But it's the fourth time he's done something wrong and some holier than thou. We haven't discussed this, am I right, Brent? No, we couldn't have. Some holier
No, we didn't.
Cricket referee now, right? Which is a position that shouldn't exist, in my opinion, you know? I mean, David Boone gets a position as cricket referee. Holier than the man drank more beers in his life, I promise you, than some small breweries have ever produced, okay? And now he's sitting there with a tie on saying, oh, that's disgusting, that's this, that's that. Rubbish, right? And then the test, during the same test match, the test match before, Butler goes and calls for Lander a knobhead, right? For everybody in the world to hear. Not once, twice, right? And he gets away with that. I just think that I still think in sport you should be able to call people knobheads and things like that. You know what I mean? It's international sport. Maybe it's not setting the best example, but it needs to be played tough and hard. But for a border to not play in a test match, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Because they're punishing the public, Brent. You know, in my opinion, punish the individual. You think he behaved too badly when he got the wicket, give him 100,000 rand fine. He won't do it again in a hurry.
Yes.
But why should the whole public, not only the South Africans, you know what I mean, not get the chance to see this rivalry fester again tomorrow, right? What could be better than England winning the toss, going in there to bat, getting a quick wicket, Rabada, in comes Root eventually, and Rabada and him having a dip. That's what we pay to see, whether it's through DSTV or at the game. But now we've got to sit there and, that's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They've taken away from our entertainment, right? Crazy. It's ridiculous.
No, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I didn't read up all the history of demerit points and this and that. But to me, if you look at those two instances that you spoke about, I mean, how one of them could see a guy missing a game and another guy nothing happening, I just didn't understand as well. But, back to the test. I mean, without Rabada, South Africa they really have been struggling against this England batting lineup, which seems to be growing in confidence. And by the same token, I mean, I was pretty impressed with Wood down in Port Elizabeth. I think he's going to be a handful. And I see you've got him at 33-10 to be the top away bowler, so the top England bowler in the first innings, 33-10. I like that.
Big value, because let's be honest, you know what I mean? Root's not going to get any weakers. I'm not sure what the makeup of their team will be. But Root won't get a bowl on the first innings at the Wanderers. Neither would they play the spinner, neither would the spinner. So if look, there's still Broad and there's still possibly Archer. If Archer comes back, and I think that he will, he's also going to be a handful there, Brent. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure that it's a toss that Faf wants to win. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because
he's good at losing them.
He is. He's got a hell of a record at that. But probably we'll win tomorrow's and make a mistake and choose to bat and be, you know what I mean, 27 for 4 at lunch, and everybody's saying that, you know, he's had a rough time, you know. But I'll be honest, I'll give him a lot of credit. The man takes the flack and everything. He's a tough character, Brent. And, you know what I mean? They just in disarray, you know what I mean? They don't know where their best openers are. I see that deputy saying, he said, the only thing he said for sure, but Rumour's playing and Van der Dussen, however you pronounce it, he's going to come in at number 3. But, sure, Wood, Archer, Broad, that's going to be pretty rough to handle, Brent?
No, it will be. I see Broad's 28-10 favourite, Archer 3-1. But on the basis that we're not sure of Archer's fitness, I mean, yes, maybe he plays, but he doesn't get that many overs. I really do think the value lies with Wood there. Based on what I saw of him, I think he's going to be very suited to this Wanderers track. Just back to that point, Vin Naidu saying he thought it was fair in the sense, and I didn't realise that Butler did get a demerit point. And,
yes, he did.
But yes.
My point is this, it's a bad system. He definitely got a point. I'm not saying that there was no justice in that. He just didn't have enough points. I think it's at 4 points that you don't play, right? But
yes.
My point is this, you're punishing the public. That's what's happening, you know? I mean, and, I'd say that in rugby as well. It's something, when they send players off, you're punishing the public. I'm a big, we don't have to go into the rugby getting red cards and that and yellow cards for hard tackles when, a 4'2" guy slips and a 7'3" guy's meant to tackle him around the ankles. He couldn't find the guy's ankles if you gave him 15,000 rand, So, I just think that you've got to look at it. Sport is entertainment, and sending people off and not letting them play games is punishing the public that pays for it. You know what I'm saying, Brent? And there have to be better ways,
Interesting one from Warren there. 14-1. That's a decent price, because I think the bowler's got a good chance of winning a man of the match in this one.
They do. I mean, they do. I'm just trying to go through who won the man of the match. The last one was Pope. I don't know who won the one before that. I can't remember.
I think Stokes got the man of the match. There were a lot of people thought that. I think it was Denley who scored the 100. A lot of people said he should have got it, but I think Stokes was a worthy recipient. I mean, he did back ball fielding. He was strong all the way through.
So far, sort of wicket keeper, all rounder, and batsman. So far, the only one that hasn't got it is a bowler. So maybe 14-1. You're never going to get hurt at 14-1. Look, it's going to be a good test match. They always are at the Wanderers. A little bit of rain won't kill it. You know what I mean? Let's just hope that there's not too much rain. And I think that 8-10, 9-10, 17-20, wherever it is a big pricing. That they're a much, much better side. And yeah, I mean, maybe
look here for top SA bowler. That's an interesting one.
Well, we're definitely going to have our competition on who's going to be we're going to do the all four. You know what I'm saying, Brent? We're going to actually, we're going to do all five. We'll have because there's not a hell of a lot of sport. I'm sorry, my notes keep running.
Yes.
You're not going to believe me, but my latest fitness craze, right, is I've become a swimmer. Well, it's a little bit.
I don't believe you already. You haven't said a word.
So now, I started to swim here at the Sea Point public pool, right? So, first of all, on a bad day, it must be -3. So it takes me about 15 minutes to see my hardware when I get home afterwards. I'm concerned that that's gone away, right? But that 50-meter pool, that end doesn't come too quickly. You know what I'm saying, Brent? So today I did 19 laps, right? Which is pretty good.
Right.
50 meters for a guy that's only been there 3 times.
I mean, why didn't you do 20? You would have got to a kilometer, Gary. Surely you should have done another length.
No, because this retard came and stood in front of me, and I did my little turn on the wall, then I shot off like a bullet, a little bit like Thorpe, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like Phelps. And there was this like immovable obstruction halfway, not even halfway, 10 yards down the way, just standing there like an idiot. And the problem is that it's a public pool. So swimmers, athletes like me, guys training for, you know what I mean, the senior Olympics and whatever, don't even get any privileges, right? Somebody can come sit there and eat an ice cream, and that's okay, you know what I'm saying, Brent? So, you know what I mean? Things are going to have to change at that pool if I want to keep my custom. But anyway, since I've got out the pool, and it's a saltwater pool with chlorine in, thank God, otherwise you'd lose limbs, okay? It's so dirty there when you look at the bottom of the pool someday. My nose hasn't stopped running. I tied my shoe, and I promised him, anyway, so please excuse me for that. So anyway, we're going, let's go back to, that's what we're going to do for our competition for sure. We're going to go home team batsman, home team bowler, away team batsman, away team bowler, and man of the match. And we're going to give a prize for everything. We're not going to make massive prizes for it. Well, we're going to give other prizes as well during the show.
Yes.
A lot of them will be hard. But if somebody gets 5, we're going to give a big bonus. Brent?
Yes, great. So it's a 5. It's home, SA bat, SA bowler, England bat bowler, and the man of the match.
Yeah. So let's go like this: 500, 500, 500, 500. Dead rules will apply. Same thing. If you haven't had a bet with GG Gaming before the test match starts, you're only going to aggravate yourself by entering because you're not going to be admissible to play in the tournament. You have to have a bet with GG Gaming. We know that, Brent.
Yes. So, should we say, Gary, because it starts tomorrow morning, should we say that the guys just have to have made a bet by, say, Saturday? Because it's still during the test match?
100%. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? They have to have a bet by Saturday. And we'll give 500 for each one individually. And if somebody gets 5 out of 5, that person automatically gets a 2,500 rand bonus. All right, Brent?
Okay. Excellent. That's a good one. So, guys, what you're going to do, we're going to do this in the live chat now. We need your predictions for the for home and away, top bat, top bowler, man of the match. We'll have individual prizes for each, which will be split. And if someone does nail all 5, which is not impossible, we'll have the big 2,500 rand voucher there. So let's see what the boys come in with on that. And Gary, as you say, that's the cricket we've sort of discussed now. Not a hell of a lot else this weekend. I know the boys are like Sean Nicholas and that we're going to be talking on the rugby show after this. We've got a couple of guys South African students studying in Barcelona, and they're big students of rugby as well, and they love their sevens. So we're going to be talking about the Hamilton sevens. But the time frames and that don't make it the best for South African punters.
No. That's very difficult to watch that. And at least the tennis continues way into the day. And I guess we will touch on the tennis. But yeah, Hamilton 7 is not one that's really got the public's imagination now because exactly for what you say. No other reason other than the time. You know what I'm saying? There are a few that I think even the Vegas one doesn't work very well, as if I remember correctly, Brent. Also, but yeah, so let's see. I mean, the sevens is interesting. It's quite competitive, I think, Brent. There's 3 or 4 sides that there's not a hell of a lot to choose between, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, I'm not a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there isn't. And you got to look at things like team selection. That's one thing I know the likes of Sean and that do. Is they look. I mean, for example, South Africa are not the same side they were before the, in the first 2 tournaments of the series. They don't have a strong. There's a few guys that are staying back now to play Super Rugby. So it's those type of things you got to look at. And there's always that in every tournament. There's a bolter. There's that one tournament where there's that 20-1 shot that runs and makes the semis or threatens to make the final, and you got to try and find that. Just something, Gary, I mean, you may not be aware of on the sevens, but the format's changing as well. We'll discuss that on the show. Normally you had the groups, and then the top 2 from each group went to the quarters. Now the top 1 from each group goes straight to the semi-finals. So that means if you're in a tough group, and South Africa are in a tough group, we've got England and Kenya in the group with us, I know. So, I mean, already that's, fairly tough. I mean, you can lose one game and you can just be knocked out the tournament, which is a bit disappointing. Sorry?
So there's no like the second place all go and play each other and 2 go through, anything like that. That's it. If you don't win your group, you go home.
There might still be some playoffs after that, like a bowl. They probably play a bowl or a plate quarterfinal. But if you don't win your pool, you can't win the tournament. You go straight to the semi-finals. Here's some of the predictions coming through, Gary. England, Archer, bowler, Pope, bat, Faf, top bat. That's an optimist, Hein. Nortje, bowler, and man of the match, Archer. And let's see what Jason's. Oh, sorry, there's a couple coming in now. Bowler, Woods. Yes, I'm agree with you. Batsman, Stokes. Bowler, Nortje. Batsman, De Kock, and a man of the match, Stokes. So there's quite a few predictions coming. I won't pull them all up here now, but seems to be a common trend. Wood certainly seems to be quite a popular pick there for the bowler.
Right, fair enough. Okay. Well, let's see where it goes, And this is first innings only, right, Brent? I mean, let's just clear that up, right?
Yes, first innings only. Yeah, first innings only. Same as the betting odds. So I'll bring a couple more up while guys can look at while we're talking. And then, Gary, what else on the weekend for you? FA Cup, I had a look through the fixtures. There's nothing that really jumps out as a massive fixture. I find at this stage of the competition, the main challenge with the English Premier League sides is trying to see where their motivation lies. Are they going for it? Are they need? And one team I did find, and I think they're around the 17 to 20 mark was, and they haven't been playing well, is Arsenal. They're away. I think they're away to Bournemouth or something like that. But for me, Arsenal are a team that need a cup. They need a cup run because they have got no chance of doing anything in the league.
Well, I'm still an eternal optimist, and I'm hoping that they finish 4th. I don't know how. I think they're about 10 points behind Chelsea. But I'm going to tell they showed a lot of character, going a goal down and a man off on Tuesday night. Brent, to come back and get a draw, at the bridge. That's not easy. It's not easy to come back from a goal there with 11 men, And they're starting to play as a team, and I think that's what they need to do. And I think, they got a lot of faith in this young Brazilian now, and I think that's where I think you'll see. I don't want to spend too much time on Arsenal, but I think that if you go back to when they were a great side under Wenger, he got a lot of great. First, he got a lot of great Dutchmen in, and then he got a lot of great Frenchmen in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that works. That you get a lot of guys, and I think that you'll see Arsenal over the next 2 or 3 years target Brazil. I read it today. Young Brazilians as well. I was reading the article on the plane today, and I think that might help them a lot. But they do look like value there. I'm going to give you a bit of, I'm not saying a roughie, but a slight outsider. I think Southampton will beat Spurs. I watched Spurs last night, and I know that they got the 3 points, but how they garbage, Brent? They are complete crap. And I mean, I can't see them getting past Southampton. For me, if you go Southampton in the draw there, you'll get the money. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about it in my mind.
So you got a price boost on that game, Gary. I'm just clicking on it now.
I have.
I'm guessing you boosted Spurs there.
I said I boosted Spurs, and you don't do your money on the draw. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of Spurs fans, so I'm trying to help them. I don't look just because I think they're going to do their money. It certainly doesn't mean that they will. I don't like Spurs at all, though, to be honest with you. I do like Southampton. But I battled to find us a price boost. The price boost will be a lot better from next. Well, we've got some great price boosts this week. You know what I mean? Some really nice ones. But we haven't got anything great for this weekend. Except what I'm going to do every Sunday, I'm going to boost somebody in the golf, Brent. So this week it's going to probably be on the European tournament. So
the Dubai Desert Classic.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll boost somebody on Saturday night for that. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll boost somebody for the farmers in America. And yeah, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, tell you guys to either drop me a WhatsApp or even tweet me. Just they'll know that I see you got someone new handling your Twitter account. Just tell them to at me at Brent Graham, then I'll retweet that and spread the word a bit.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Will you just remind me, Brent, because that always puts me off when you go hashtags and that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Sean Nicholas says that Mourinho's killing Spurs. I don't know if that's true. I think Spurs were dead before he came there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. From a side that was so good and, you know what I mean, a coach that was so happy and everything that was so fantastic, this season's just been a mess for them. I don't know what it is. There were stories that players in the team were having affairs with other guys in the team's wives and everything. You know what I mean? I mean, that, in my opinion, should just create a better team spirit. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved some of my mates to let me have a go with their girlfriends when we were playing sport back when I was 17. You know, I would have loved it. But anyway, it doesn't seem to be working for Spurs. But yeah, so I don't like them this weekend, and I just don't like the FA Cup generally. Let's be perfectly honest. There's a big soccer match tonight, hey Brent. This is a proper hurdle for Liverpool, much more than
Wolves Liverpool.
This is a proper hurdle. You don't go to Wolves and just get 3 points. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is the time of the season where there's all time. You know, there's no pressure on them winning the league. The truth is, Brent, you and I could go and get 9 other guys that follow the show, and we could go and win the league from where they are now. But they have immortality as a soccer side sitting waiting for them. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll give you my prediction. I just think that Liverpool are a super side. I've got a feeling they're going to come from a goal down to win 2-1. That's my tip there. I'm not a Liverpool supporter, but I think that they will. But there is going to be pressure there now. You know what I mean? Can they remain unbeaten? You know what I'm saying? The 100 points seems almost like it's a certainty. But can they remain unbeaten? And, you know what I mean? Join the likes of, you know, the Invincibles from Arsenal and that. So, but we'll see a big game tonight. Big game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I see Sean saying underneath here as well, a big test for Liverpool. Now, Chris Sturdy, in his preview on Good for the Game, actually went both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, which is pretty much what you're suggesting as well with the 2-1 there. It's interesting because Liverpool have kept something like 7 clean sheets in a row, but virtually everyone I've spoken to has a feeling that ends tonight and that Wolves will find the back of the net.
I think so. I've got a feeling they're going to have to come from behind, but I mean, yeah, there you got another one there, not giving a clean sheet. You know what I'm saying? So, like to say, everybody seems to be saying that, you know.
Should we do another time of first goal scorer one for this one? In other words, pick the team and the minutes, because last week there was a lot of interest in that one.
Let's do time of the first Wolves goal, and remember, no goal is, you know what I mean, no goal, and let's see where people go. Going to have to split it, so don't go no goal. You know what I mean? We're only going to give away 600 rand, Brent. So don't just go no goal for. We'll end up sharing it with too many guys, you know. We got 600 rand on when the first Wolves goal will be scored tonight.
First Wolves goal, and no goal is an option. So let's see, guys, go in there, and we see who gets the closest. Well, Vin Naidu, and he's we got a couple coming in. We got no goal, 36th minute, and Vin, who's a Liverpool fan, reckons Wolves might just open the scoring early. Well, I'm assuming they're opening the scoring then.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've really enjoyed, you know, I was, you know, in Joburg, and I had I ended up coming to bed late-ish most nights and watching the soccer and watching it all the way through without my wife saying, oh, more sport, you know what I'm saying? But, so I really enjoyed the soccer so far this week, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, so let's see what happens tonight. And like I say, FA Cup on the weekend, we touched on the cricket. We literally, Brent, a week away from, you know what I mean, the excitement of the rugby kicking in, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it is going to be epic, the Super Rugby, you know?
And it's the Met next weekend as well, Gary. But before you get the Met, you touched on something. I just want to ask you, has there been any support, any particular markets that you're finding guys are getting interested in on the Super Rugby perspective?
Well, everybody's going the same way, you know what I mean? Henrik and everybody else. There seems to be all the support for the Sharks, you know? People got short memories. And Warren, do you have to go to bed when there's a goal in the soccer? Doesn't your wife let you stay up and watch the whole game? So, you want to collect the 600 and go to bed early? I know what you're up to there, you know. Brent, a lot of money for the Sharks in all the things, leading South African side to beat the Stormers. There's a lot. The money's all for the Sharks. And, I'm still not convinced. Yeah, they got a nice backline, but no backline's going to win Super Rugby. Let's be perfectly honest. You know what I'm saying? The team that interests me the most this season, I want to see if the Jaguars can follow through from what they did last year. That's the one that's going to, I think, the big question mark for me, because they were. That's fair enough. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that. But I think the Stormers got a good pack. They got a lot of Springboks in their pack. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, for a guy like Khaleesi, it doesn't help him to have a mediocre Super Rugby season now. You know what I'm saying? He has this sort of like fame that he has to carry around. You know what I'm saying? And
yes,
a lot of Stormers in the past have been lukewarm. I'm talking about the Springbok Stormers. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to point out fingers. You know what I mean? You don't want to say that has Esterbet put it into Super Rugby the last 10 years. You don't want to, last 5 years. You don't want to point out anybody. You know what I'm saying? But there are Springboks that have played for the Stormers that at the end of the season you turn around and you think, did that put it all in, or was he waiting for the championship? You know what I'm saying, Brent? And I don't think that's going to happen with the Springboks that play for the Stormers. I'm a big fan of the Stormers this season so far. I mean, when they get beaten, you know what I mean, their first 3 games, maybe that will change. But
I also like them. So we're actually aligned on the Stormers. I'm also fancying them for quite a good season, Gary. But I can't wait for that action to get. And I know the guys are all gagging. We'll have some Super Brew competitions and stuff running as well. So looking forward to that. But of course, next weekend is the Met as well. I mean, can you believe it? We've got the start of Super Rugby. It is next weekend, Gary? The Met.
Absolutely. On Saturday, the 1st of February. And it's a pretty interesting Met. They always are, let's be perfectly honest. But it's a really interesting Met. We've got a warm. Is he the superstar, or is he, the flop that he was in the Queen's Plate? You know what I'm saying? We got Vardy. Is he the superstar that we saw in the Queen's Plate, or was it a flash in the pan? We got Rainbow Bridge, you know what I'm saying? He's always up there. That's my tip still. You know what I'm saying? He's always up there. He's a really genuine, good racehorse, And then you've got, below that Do It Again. Can he get back to where he was? I mean, let's be perfect. Remember that Do It Again won 2 Durban Julys in a row, You don't do that, you know what I mean, easily, because you might get away with it once with a low handicap, but you're not going to get away with it twice, you know what I'm saying? So to win a July 2 years in a row is not an easy feat, because you're not going to have it easy. You're not going to have it your own way the second year. So can do it again, get back to where it is. And then you've got some of the older guys. I think the race ends there, to be honest with you. I think the other guys are wasting their time. Maybe you'll see something from Bunkhunt. I don't think so. I think it's a top 4.
That's what Southpaw on our forum. I mean, he has tipped it. I think he grabbed it 50-1 or something. And so I mean, it's not like he's not saying it's by any means a shot, but he reckons if there is one to challenge from outside the top, he's going for that bunker hunt.
Yeah, he seems the best of the others. But like I said, for me, it's a top 4. Obviously, as a bookmaker, we'd like to get something through from below there, but I just can't see it. I really can't. I just think that the top 4 have all got a certain amount of class, and 1 or 2 of them will act on the day, and if they do, they'll be too good for everybody else. From a personal perspective. Carry on, Brent. Sorry.
No, we carry on with the Met. I was going to ask you an unrelated question, a horse racing one, but unrelated.
Okay, so for me, you know what I mean. Obviously, I go back with Greg Blank a long time. Jimmy Sarkis, the owners and the breeders of Vardy and everything, and obviously from that side, I'd like to see them win, and you know what I mean. That would be fantastic. But that's not what racing's about. You don't get what you want. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. So you're going to ask me something about racing?
Yeah. No, I was going to talk about the Good for the Game syndicate, because we've of course got the 2 horses in training. I see some of the guys are thinking of trying to maybe get to the stable or something. But have we heard anything about them? Are they working? Are they preparing for any races at this point?
Oh, well, they're working, Brent. I mean, they should go there. I bumped into the trainer last week.
Yes.
Just before the show. And yeah. He is. There's no problem. The guys want to go. You just got to get the message. But just give me at least let me tell them that he's coming, that they're coming.
Yes.
But otherwise, we have to do it one trip. We can. Guys that can't make it this weekend, we'll do it the next weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or in 2 weeks. Or we can even do it. Maybe what's a better idea? You know what I mean? None of us are kids. We get up early in the morning and we go watch them work one morning at 5:30 and have a lekker breakfast afterwards and play it by ear. But
that'll be great.
That I think would be really cool.
No, for sure. I think the excitement's going to start building on that one, especially when we start planning towards the the first races and that. And Gary, yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of the show. Like I said to the guys, we've got the 9 o'clock show coming where we're going to, also even from a rugby point of view, thank goodness for the Hamilton Sevens, because it's quite a quiet weekend. I think we got the 1 Pro 14 game with the Cheetahs against, or the Kings against the Cheetahs. You've got a bit of English Premier League, rugby, but there's really not a lot. So fortunately, we do have the Hamilton Sevens, and we'll be chatting about that at 9 o'clock. But from yourself, anything in closing? Any final comments?
No, I mean, there's also, like I said, the guys mustn't forget about the tennis. You know, I mean, it is a major, albeit for me the weakest of the 4 majors. But there's decent golf and everything. You know what I mean? You see Rory and John Rahm and everybody coming out in America. Tiger's out there this weekend. So, I mean, there's really big golf. You don't really get much bigger than Rory and Tiger in a field. You know what I'm saying? Playing Kupka and you've got the lot. But I don't think Kupka's there this week, isn't. And then, the Aussie Open, it is interesting, Brent? I mean, it's really interesting, you know. You still have Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic in particular playing exceptionally well. But you have that younger brigade that are threatening. And it will happen eventually. I don't think it's going to happen this tournament. I don't think it's going to happen this year. But I think we're 12 months away from a new dominant bunch of guys taking over tennis. You know what I mean? I think that will happen at next year's Aussies. But, yeah, let's see. It's like I said, you know, the one thing about sport, even if it isn't the best weekend, it's certainly better than theatre and listening to your wife.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. And who's going to win the Aussie Open, Gary?
Djokovic, and I think they'll get a spook in the ladies. I'm not saying like
you'll get a spook in for the ladies.
The winner from the ladies will be somebody that started the tournament at 12-1 or bigger. And I think Djokovic will still prove to be too good there.
Okay, excellent. Gary, thanks very much. Thanks to all the guys who are watching the live chat. I just want to go have a quick pop on and see the final comments here from the guys. And I don't know what Robert G's saying there. Kings on the plus. I just want to quickly mention this because, Henrik, I want to touch on this game on the show tonight as well. I know you're going to be watching because it's a 7 show. But I do like the Kings to give the Cheetahs a good run this weekend, Gary. And I'm not sure what the handicap, I think about 8.5 or something. But that's my bet for the weekend. The Kings on the plus against the Cheetahs.
Excellent.
Good Excellent.
Stuff. Brent, thank you, guys.
Excellent, Gary. Great, man. Well, listen, we'll do a big show next week with Super Rugby coming and stuff. Today was, we got to chat in general a bit because there's just not a lot of sport. But thanks to all the guys who joined us. And, we'll be back next week. Super Rugby, the Met. We've got so much to talk about. 6 Nations. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a crazy show.
Specials on every single rugby game and on the Met. So don't have your bets too early. Hang in there. Wait to see what we've got to offer next week. Okay.
Excellent. Gary Lentin, thanks very much. Great chatting to you. I'll let you get back to your swimming or looking for your hardware after your swim or whatever you want to say. But thanks very much for joining us. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend. Ciao, bye-bye.
Excellent, guys. Thanks. That was Gary Lentin down from Cape Town. We're about 12 minutes away from the start of the rugby show. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Good to see that a few of the boys like the Kings on the plus. I make it quite a strong bet and totally agree. I think the Cheetahs have been poor. At the same token, I think the Kings have performed a bit better under this new management than what I thought they would, despite the fact that they took a hammering while they were in Europe. They were down to 14 men. I actually thought they played pretty well. But, guys, that's it for now. Thanks. Good luck for the competitions. We might have a little one in the newsletter tomorrow as well. You can subscribe down below the video, but we'll see you in just over 10 minutes.